Alright guys, thought I'd do something a little bit different on the channel today. Just to create the opportunities, because I know a lot of you guys want to move out to Spain, and from engaging with people over the last couple of years, a lot of it's been around the financial side, in the sense of how to make it happen, etc, etc. Now, there's two things that you may find useful. The first one is, there's a lot of properties that are fairly cheap. If you can pay for them before you get there, that's a bonus. The other thing is, if you're looking to rent, because rents can be fairly cheap, although getting a nice location can take a bit of time, you could look to build up an investment that you utilise for your rents and cost of living, because the main priority on that is basically, from my own experience, the cost of living in Spain for me on a monthly basis would be around 1/3 is rental cost or mortgage cost, and in some cases that could even be as much as half of somebody's cost of living, because obviously we're a family of four, so I have a bit more cost than most people if they're a single or a couple. Now, realistically, there's options there to get rid of that. Now, one of the things that a lot of people have in the UK is they've got a property, or they have the ability to downsize and basically just go for gold. Myself at the moment, I rent a small place where I'm at the moment while I'm working. Now, I'm not going to tell you how much I bank every month, but basically where I am is about 1/3 of what it would cost me if I rented a house. Simple as that. It's about 1/3. Now, that means that the rest of that remaining money goes to Spain. It is being banked to buy property. Why am I doing it this way? The answer to that is I can earn 4 times as much here than I can in Spain. So basically, I'm moving 4 years for every 1 year, realistically, maths-wise. So buying a house, I can actually pay it off, buy it, whatever, much faster. Yes, it's an inconvenience. Yes, it's not the best setup, but B, I've got to focus on getting to the first one, getting that paid off, and once that's paid off, either whether it's rented out or we move into it, that is 1/3 of my costs gone. Now, realistically, I've got a fair chunk of money in the bank. I've got some money to transfer across from Asia, and the money I'm accumulating at the moment will bring up the rest to pay it off in virtually no time whatsoever. The other thing is, before somebody mentioned it, well, what about Brexit, blah, blah, blah. The type of work I'm in is recession proof anyway. It's basically working for the government. So it doesn't matter what happens. I'm in a position that will always be needed. There won't be any cost cuts. All you end up with is pay freezes. So realistically, we're recession proof on that side. Am I expecting major changes left, right and centre with it? Not really. I don't have Spanish healthcare, I have private healthcare. I do have tax implications, but at the same time I've already engaged with the UK and Spanish tax authority to get it where they're happy. If they're happy, then I've got no extra taxes or unexpected amounts due. So the point is, there's an opportunity. So if you're looking to move over to Spain and thinking, should I buy, should I rent, maybe the amount should be the relevant part. If it's going to cost you 400 a month, maybe look at, well, if I sell my house in Spain, can I get a return on investment that will cover that rental cost a month for my rest of my years in Spain? Now, some of you may not be aware, but for example, nationwide, if you have investments over £40,000, you're entitled to a financial advisor. Now, most banks are like that. I think HSBC moved theirs from 30,000 to 60,000, but ultimately they will find your way to squeeze as much money out of your investment if you go and engage with them and have enough to do it in the first place. If you haven't got to that point, I do recommend things like Money Supermarket. I do recommend looking at how it reduces your costs, whether it's moving into a shared house, whether it's downsizing, whatever, to reduce your cost of living so that you can make that move across. Now, like I said, that is going to be 1/3 of your costs, the property that you reside in. So whether you aim to buy it outright before you move over, or whether you aim to get enough money for investments to cover the rent, that's entirely up to you. But I just wanted to put that out there because once you get through that, your cost of living drops by a significant amount. It gets easier. 5 years of hardship in the UK could give you 20 years of stress-free living in Spain because your house is paid, your cost of living's reduced, you own it, you've got no hassles. But I just wanted to make people aware. It may not be something you've thought of. You may be thinking, I'm living in a 4-bedroom house, but I want to move over to Spain and get a little flat. Well, guess what? You've got 3 rooms there. If you're living on your own or as a couple, you could rent out. You've got 3 rooms there that you're not using. You know, I know some of you guys are thinking, well, the kids come back at Christmas or whatever. Do you know what? Sell the house, downsize, whatever you want to do, and rent a nice little bungalow or something for Christmas. Get something a bit more festive. Go and meet up somewhere else in Europe. Do something that's a little bit different. You know, it's I've got friends who do it. Because they're quite big in the sense of you've got the grandparents, the parents, the kids that are all adults, and then all the grandkids. So to be fair, 20 odd people in one house for the Christmas period doesn't really fit these days. So they actually rent 2 bungalows on a it's like one of these like nature campsite things, but they're log cabins. They're not tents or whatever. They're nice log cabins, and they do that at Christmas. So they get them opposite each other, so the family are all together for Christmas, and they just love it. In the same way, in Spain, I mean, La Mata, for example, there's a nice one at Guatemala that's got some lovely little cabins there, which are you could live in them for a couple of months if they'd let you. I don't know what the costs of rents are on them, but the point is there's ways around it. But you sitting in a larger house than you need, you're paying excess electric, excess water, excess council tax, all the associated bills with little ROI on it, because if it's empty, it's costing, it's not earning. And I know people get an emotional attachment to things, but a lot of the time you've got to weigh up, is that emotional attachment of real value? You know, in the sense of, if you downsized and travelled more, wouldn't the memories and stuff that you gathered over your trips abroad or relocating to a new country actually offer more? So I just wanted to throw that out there today, because I know there's a few people moving over to Spain at the moment. And I know some of our friends have actually gone down the route of downsizing and stuff previously. They got rid of the big car. I'm actually trying to get rid of one at the moment because I have a large company car, which I really hate. So I'm just trying to get a smaller car because I've got nothing to prove to anybody. I'm not interested. I escaped the rat race. I'm just focusing on getting the property set up, and that'll be me for the long term in Spain. Because once that's there, pottering around is more than enough to cover any other costs. And anything above that, we save for travelling around Europe. Later on, may get a camper van or something, but ultimately, the main goal is to get to a position where you can sort of say, right, renting their properties out, got steady income, that covers my rent, or I'm moving into it, it's all paid off, no mortgage, lower cost of living. Either way, it's an opportunity there. And what surprises me, the number of people that have properties that are empty in Spain. You know, there's people that say, oh, I've lost so much money, I can't recover what I paid for it. And I sit there thinking, so you come out here 2 weeks a year, yet somebody could have been paying your mortgage for years. So even though it devalued, somebody else would have paid it off. It just seems like a madness, but some people don't see the bigger picture. I mean, I know people grow an emotional attachment to some places sometimes, but personally, it's not worth it. It's more to life. The bricks and mortars will still be there when you're not. Traveling, enjoying life, that's what's important. And getting to that point is the important bit. Getting to where you can do that is the important bit, which is often overlooked. We get bogged down in things like Brexit. We get bogged down in stuff that's completely irrelevant and won't really change in life. So just bear that in mind. It may be an option for you. Thanks for watching.